This Notebook LM video explores the Tabernacle as more than a portable sanctuary. Its design was intended as a reflection of heavenly realities and a cosmic blueprint of creation itself. Discover how its structure, materials, and symbolism connect to the Genesis creation story, the 7 visible celestial bodies, and the journey from earthly life to divine presence.
Welcome to The Explainer. We're diving into an ancient blueprint today, one that on the surface is just for a simple tent. But what if it secretly holds the design for, well, the entire universe? You have to imagine, for the ancient Israelites out there wandering in the desert, this structure, the tabernacle, it wasn't just some place of worship. No, it was the absolute center of their entire world. But what if this humble little sanctuary was actually way more than just a tent? What if it was a map of everything? The sources we have really suggest there's a much, much deeper story going on. So let's dig in and see what they have to say. All right, so before we jump into all the wild cosmic theories, let's ground ourselves a bit. What exactly was this tabernacle, in a practical, day-to-day sense? Okay, so picture this. It's way back around 1446 BCE. The Israelites are a nomadic people, always on the move. They needed a sanctuary that could pack up and go with them, right? And the tabernacle, well, that was the brilliant solution. It was built from whatever they had on hand: animal skins, fine linen, strong acacia wood. It became this constant, tangible, physical reminder of God's presence right there with them, smack in the middle of a vast, harsh desert. Okay, but here's where things start to get really interesting. The instructions for building this thing, they are incredibly detailed. And buried inside all those details is a very specific and kind of mysterious clue. See, the thing is, the design wasn't just left up to human creativity or, guesswork. The command was crystal clear. You have to build this as an exact copy of a pattern that was shown to Moses. And that is the million-dollar question, isn't it? A pattern of what, exactly? Was it just a blueprint for a really fancy tent? Or was it a pattern of something much, much bigger? Well, lucky for us, later texts give us a pretty direct answer. They actually describe the tabernacle as a copy and shadow of what exists in heaven. So get this. This wasn't just some earthly tent. It was intentionally designed as a physical model of a heavenly reality. And this whole idea of a heavenly pattern, it gets even more fascinating when you start to compare the tabernacle's construction to the creation story from Genesis. The parallels, honestly, they're pretty astonishing. I mean, just look at some of the parallels scholars have pointed out. The creation story in Genesis, it unfolds over 7 days. The instructions for the tabernacle, they're given in 7 divine speeches. The Spirit of God is said to be active in creation. And guess what? The tabernacle's chief builder is described as being filled with the Spirit of God. You see this recurring theme, right? It's all about bringing divine order out of a chaotic world. And this cosmic symbolism, it's literally woven right into the fabrics and materials. Gold, for instance, that represented the divine. The blue threads you'd see in the curtains, that was meant to be the sky, the heavens. And get this, even the famous golden lampstand, the menorah, is thought by many to represent the 7 celestial bodies you can see with the naked eye: the sun, the moon, and the 5 visible planets. It's a direct, intentional link between this little sanctuary and the great big cosmos. Then you've got the number 3. This number is absolutely key. It helps us understand the tabernacle's layout, not just as a building, but as a kind of spiritual journey. So the entire structure was laid out in 3 distinct parts, and it was like a path that got holier and holier the further in you went. First, you have the outer court. That's for everybody. Then you move into the holy place, which was just for the priests. And finally, you have the Holy of Holies, the innermost sanctum, where only the high priest could go, and only once a year. This was the symbolic spot, the very place where heaven and earth were believed to meet. So when you put it all together, the heavenly pattern, the echoes of creation, this 3-part layout, it all starts pointing to one single grand idea about what the tabernacle was really for. It wasn't just meant to be a symbol of heaven. It was designed to be what we'd call a microcosm, a perfect miniature model of the entire cosmos. Think about that. A little universe, right there in the middle of the desert, built to reflect the divine order of all creation. And that's really the core idea here. The tabernacle was meant to be a physical, tangible place where the divine, heavenly order could literally intersect with our messy, earthly world. And we're not just talking symbolically. It was believed to be the literal dwelling place of what's called the Shekinah, the actual, visible, tangible presence of God here on earth. That divine glory was said to fill the Holy of Holies, making this simple tent the one true meeting point between heaven and earth. Okay, so why does any of this matter today? I mean, why are we still talking about a desert tent from thousands of years ago? What's the lasting legacy here for us? Well, when you get right down to it, the tabernacle represents something that's deeply human, right? It's this desire to find some kind of order in the chaos of the universe and to feel a real connection to something divine within all that order. It's really an ancient attempt to map our place in the cosmos, to figure out where we fit in the grand scheme of things. And that idea, the idea of the divine actually dwelling with humanity, that's a theme that just runs all the way through these ancient texts. The tabernacle was the first step, the temporary blueprint, the portable model, but it was always pointing toward a future hope, a vision of a permanent reality where that blueprint is finally fulfilled, and heaven and earth are no longer separate realms. So, in the end, the whole story of the tabernacle leaves us with a pretty provocative thought to chew on. What if the incredible patterns and the mind-blowing order we see all around us, in our own universe, what if that's not the original masterpiece? What if it's all just a reflection, a copy and shadow of an even greater, more profound reality, one that's just beyond our sight?